My name is Skylar Ray. I was born in a place most people drive past without ever noticing. A little trailer park tucked behind an old truck stop in rural Texas. The kind of place where the sunsets are beautiful, but the dreams feel small. Where every porch has a squeaky chair, every yard is more dirt than grass, and the sound of crickets fills the silence at night. Our trailer was worn but full of love. The roof leaked when it rained, and the heater worked only when it wanted to. Still, my mom, Grace, made it feel like home. She was the strongest woman I knew, working double, sometimes triple shifts at the diner just to keep food on the table and a few lights burning. She didn't complain, not once. Her hands were always tired, but her eyes never stopped searching for hope. My little brother Levi and I didn't have much. Old hand-me-downs, canned dinners, birthdays with dollar store, candles. But somehow I never felt poor, not when I was singing. Music to me was never just sound. It was shelter. It was my way of breathing when the world felt too heavy. I used to sneak off into Levi's room late at night where we kept this half-broken karaoke machine someone had thrown away. The speaker crackled, the mic buzzed, but when I held it in my hand, I felt powerful. I'd stand there whispering lyrics to songs I barely knew, trying to drown out the quiet that often felt louder than anything else. No one in that neighborhood talked about dreams. They talked about shifts, about bills, about survival. But somewhere deep inside, I knew I wanted more. Not more money or more things, just more space to be myself, to sing, to be heard. School was a challenge all its own. I wasn't the girl with perfect grades or a fancy backpack. I was the girl people whispered about. Trailer girl, they'd say under their breath. Like that was all I'd ever be. I'd walk the halls with my head down, trying to stay invisible, trying to stay out of the way. But music was where I didn't have to hide. I joined the choir, even though I barely knew how to read sheet music. I fumbled, missed notes, lost my place, but I kept showing up. Because singing made me feel like I existed. And then, one day, something changed. Ms. Ramirez, our choir teacher, the kind of woman who could hear the truth behind your voice, she asked me to stay after rehearsal. I thought I was in trouble. Instead, she looked at me with this calm confidence and said, "Skylar, you have a gift. It's not perfect, but it's real. Don't let this world convince you otherwise." I didn't know what to say. I had never been told I was good at anything before. Then she handed me a flyer. A prestigious music academy in the city was holding open auditions. She told me to try. That I had nothing to lose and maybe everything to gain. At first, I laughed it off. I mean, come on, me? Auditioning at a place where kids wear tuxedos to practice? Where lessons cost more than my mom made in a week? The idea felt impossible, but that night I stood in front of the mirror, cracked, stained, hanging slightly crooked. And I sang, not loud, not perfect, but honest. And something inside me whispered, "Why not you?" So I practiced in secret. Every night after Levi fell asleep. Every morning before school when the trailer was still and quiet. I didn't tell anyone, not even my mom. I just sang, and when the day came, I was terrified. The building was massive. Cold marble floors. Kids with shiny instruments and polished shoes. Parents with clipboards and resumes. I felt like a misplaced puzzle piece. When they called my name, my feet didn't want to move, but somehow I walked to the stage. My heart was pounding so loud I could barely hear the piano start. But then I closed my eyes, and I let go. Every note I sang came from a place deeper than fear. I didn't sing to impress. I sang to survive. I sang for the little girl who thought she'd never be enough, and then it was over. Weeks passed. Life returned to normal. Diner shifts, homework, dusty roads. Until one day, an envelope came in the mail. Thick, official. I held it for minutes before I could even open it. "Congratulations, Skylar Ray." I was in. I was going to the music academy. I cried. My mom cried. Even Levi ran around the trailer yelling, "My sister's gonna be famous." I wasn't famous. I was just finally seen. Leaving home was bittersweet. I hugged my mom longer than I ever had. I promised Levi I'd visit, and as we drove away, I looked back one last time at the trailer that built me. At the academy, everything was different. Fast, bright, loud, beautiful, scary. I was surrounded by talent, kids who had been singing since birth, who knew the names of composers I'd never even heard of. At first I felt like an imposter, like I'd slipped through the cracks. But every time I opened my mouth to sing, I remembered why I was there. I worked harder than I thought I could. I studied late, asked questions, failed, tried again. I learned about chords, harmonies, breathing, posture. But more than anything, I learned about myself. Music became more than a voice. It became my language, my way of saying, "I'm here, I matter, I belong." One night, during a recital, I performed my first solo. The lights were blinding. My knees were shaking. But the moment the music began, I remembered that girl in the trailer, and I sang for her. The applause that night didn't just fill the room, it filled something in me that had been empty for a long time. People sometimes ask me now, "Skylar, what kept you going?" And the truth is, I didn't always know. But looking back, I realize it was never about fame or stages or trophies. It was about holding on to something when everything else felt like it was slipping away. It was about one broken karaoke machine, one cracked mirror, one voice searching for light in the dark. I'm still that girl in a lot of ways. But now, I sing louder. My name is Skylar Ray, and this is just the beginning.